Well, there's been more reporting this morning on the Digital Vibe scandal. It saw the Health Department giving a R150 million contract to the company Digital Vibes, which was run by the former personal assistant to the Health Minister, Dr. William Kiese. Kiese is still on special leave. The Special Investigating Unit gave a report into the scandal to the President 3 weeks ago. Today, in Daily Maverick, they published a report which says that Digital Vibes company got the contract despite quoting a figure of R150 million. Another company said it could do the same thing for around R69 million. The person who first broke the story and reported on it again this morning is the journalist Pieter-Louis Myburgh. Pieter-Louis, good afternoon to you. You've been looking through various documents. What have you found out about how this contract was awarded by the Health Department to Digital Vibes?
Hi, Stephen. Yeah, look, so we're really getting into the nitty-gritty detail in terms of how that tender process in late 2019 played out. The Special Investigating Unit certainly has uncovered what appears to be some very concerning aspects about that tender process. In short, they maintain that the whole tender process was rigged to favor Digital Vibes. There's a couple of ways in which this was done. Just quickly, for instance, the companies or the bidders were assessed in terms of how much experience they had in running these kind of contracts. Digital Vibes really is a fly-by-night kind of entity that has no background. Somehow they managed to get full marks on that count, while one of its kind of main rival bidders is a company with more than 15 years experience in the industry, and they really got pretty paltry or poor markings in that regard. Just one of the indications of, tender rigging, alleged tender rigging that the SIU has flagged.
So, do we know who was involved in making these decisions? Presumably there's a paper trail of some kind of who was in the room at the time, or maybe not in the room, but on the Zoom call?
Yeah, no, very much so. Look, so a tender process or a tender evaluation committee is very much a documented process. So the TEC was made up of 5 individuals, and 2 of them are pretty senior Department of Health officials. That includes Dr. Anban Pillay, who at that point in time, late 2019, was the Acting Director General, and then also the spokesperson of the department, Mr. Popo Maya, was also in a tender evaluation committee.
Is it possible that it was the correct decision to give this contract to a company that would charge more than twice as much? I can't really see how, but from what you're saying, there was nothing particularly special about Digital Vibes at all.
Stephen, it looks very unlikely that it would be the case. So another kind of iteration of supposed tender meddling or irregularities that the SIU has uncovered is the fact that you had to submit 2 reference letters from previous clients that basically supported your claim of your previous experience. Digital Vibes only submitted 1, and this should have had the company technically expelled from the tender process according to the department's own procurement rules and regulations. And they somehow just hurdled or skipped over that hurdle and still got the full marks in spite of the fact that, or despite the fact that there was a very real shortcoming in its bid submission.
So the SIU's been investigating this. Do we know what conclusions they've come to? Presumably they're responsible for some of the documents you've been looking at.
Yeah, look, so the wording in this is an ex parte filing at the special tribunal, where they're now kind of trying to claw back or freeze some of the monies that is linked to the contract. But I would assume that there are quite a couple of overlaps in the special tribunal findings and then the actual SIU report that is now in the hands of President Ramaphosa, and as you mentioned in your earlier inset, in the health minister's hands too. And the SIU uses extremely powerful language in the ex parte filings. They call it a rigged contract. They say it was flawed, unlawful, invalid. I would expect its findings are equally strong in terms of the actual SIU report now in Ramaphosa's hands. And I really can't foresee that it would be in any way possible for President Ramaphosa not to act very strongly against anybody who's been implicated in that kind of conduct, now also affirmed or confirmed by the SIU.
In the meantime, we haven't heard much about the Health Minister, Dr. William Kiese. He's still on special leave. If what you say is correct, it would seem, well, impossible really for him to stay on in his job. We don't know. It's not our decision. It's the President's decision. Certainly he's in a difficult position.
Look, I'll quickly part with my hat as an investigative journalist, and if I had to venture a political analyst comment, I would say that it'll be extremely tricky for President Ramaphosa, who whose whole administration at this point in time is absolutely in the spotlight in terms of handling corruption and dealing with it effectively. It's been a very unpalatable issue from the public's point of view to consider that monies for COVID-19, which was such a crucial juncture in government's, in point in time last year in terms of public expenditure, that some of this money was looted, to entertain the possibility of allowing Dr. Mkhize back into the cabinet somehow, despite this very dark cloud hovering over his head. That could only spell political trouble for President Ramaphosa, surely.
Pieter-Louis Myburgh, I do appreciate the time. Thank you very much indeed. A journalist at the Daily Maverick Scorpio unit.